Well, I'm live at the Red House, and I'm doing a Zoom call today with my guest, who goes by the name of Tyler Nail. Uh, so thanks for taking this call, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So I just thought it would be fun to like talk to somebody who I share a name with, and just like see what that would be like. Because usually this podcast, I talk to local artists in my area, like in the state of North Carolina. But I just wanted to change it up a little. So where are you at?
Okay, yeah, so I'm in Bozeman, Montana.
Are you from there?
No, I've moved around a little bit. I settled here about 3 years ago.
Where are you from?
I was born in Orange County, California, and I've spent a lot of time in Durango, Colorado.
I think when I start, I got curious a while back and started looking up Tyler Nails on Instagram. And I think when I first started following you, I think you might have been in Colorado somewhere. The impression,
Yeah.
like you seem like kind of, let's see, we both have glasses, we both have beards, I guess we both wear hats, and I get the impression you're pretty into like nature and rock climbing and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. Like that's kind of what I do the most is just get outside and be in nature. Love the outdoor sports. Pretty much as much time as I can spend outside, I'm going to.
Hell yeah. Uh, what part of Montana did you say you're in again? I'm sorry.
Bozeman,
Bozeman.
yeah.
Is that like a super mountainous area that you're in?
It's in a valley with mountains surrounding it, and it's just so easy to get to any of the mountains I want to get to, which is really nice.
Hell yeah. So what's it been like being named Tyler Nail?
I mean, pretty normal. I don't. People always ask me like, um, just verify to make sure my name is spelled Nail, and like, is that really your name? Don't believe me, but like last name Nail.
Yeah, I've gotten that a lot too. Are there a lot of nails? Well, I guess you said you're from California. Where what is a lot of your nail family in California?
Yes, my immediate my parents, my dad and stepmom are in Hawaii. My mother is in California, and then I've got cousins kind of all over.
I hear that. So so have you been able to like where do you have you traced back your family line and all that shit?
Not very far, no. No, I don't know too much about my family.
Yeah. I've heard a couple different things about the last name Nail. I've heard that it might derive from the German name Nagel, which is I think that might actually be German for nail. Someone told me or something. But I've also seen it as a Scottish name, and I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what the best odds are for where it really derives from. But
Yeah, I'm not sure. I really don't know. I heard a rumor one time that was like at an ale or like at the ale house, so someone who drinks a lot, which
that might
makes sense
fit.
for my what? Yeah, that
Does that fit well for you?
definitely fits well for me. I'm actually employed as a brewer. I make beer for a living, so
Really?
right, yeah.
What brewery do you work at?
I work at a small brewery out here. You wouldn't know it. It's called Polar Brewing, and they've got a little like part of a restaurant that sells all the beer. So
So I don't know if this is because of being like I'm a musician and I perform and stuff, and so I'm very public with my with our name a lot, and and I often will get called Tyler Nail as one phrase instead of just Tyler by people. Does that ever happen with you?
um, not too much. It really only happens if I'm like with a group of other Tylers or something. If there's other Tylers around me, which is a pretty common first name.
Yeah.
So most of the time, people just call me Tyler.
Do you like the do you like your first name?
I do, yeah.
I do not connect with it. I'm like I wish my middle name was my first name sometimes, but I mean, it's whatever. It's just
What's
it's
your middle
weird.
name?
My middle name's Seth,
Okay.
and like Seth means something like it not only has some connection with like the dark side, like the devil or something like that, but it also I think means like gardener or something. And as you probably know, Tyler means house like roof tile maker, like as in a literal tiler. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the most obvious question I have to ask is just have you had a lot of experiences where you've tried to like sign up for Instagram or Twitter and you see that Tyler Nail is taken and you're like, why I oughta?
No, I can't say I've had too much issue with that.
Good.
Um, maybe I've beaten you to it all.
Somebody beat us both apparently to Tyler Nail at Gmail.
I know, yeah, I had to put my middle initial in mine.
Yeah. I have two of them. I have one with the middle initial and I have one with Tyler Nail Music, which I think is the one I emailed you with. But yeah, somebody beat us to that. But I did get tylernail.com. But I do want to be like, I want to be collaborative or whatever. So if you're ever trying to get a merch line going and you want to collaborate, you need to you need to borrow the domain. Just let me know.
Okay. I can't see myself doing that, but thank you.
Yeah, I want to at least extend the offer. Yeah. So what do you so you're in Montana and you're working at this brewery, like I guess I don't know. It's just while I have you here, just because I don't know if I'll ever talk to another Tyler Nail. Like I wouldn't mind just learning more about your biography. I guess one thing I have to ask: there's not a Vestal Nail that you're related to, is there?
I do not think so. I've not heard that.
Okay, my grandfather's father, my great grandfather, his name was Vestal Nail, and he moved to California like a long time ago, and so I didn't know him. He wasn't a part of the picture or whatever. But it just would be so hilarious if we were to find out that we shared like a great grandfather or something.
I'm definitely gonna have to look that up. I don't know my great grandfather's name. I know my grandfather's name was Cleland.
Cleland?
Cleland. Cleellclelle, and I don't know. Cleland.
Wow, I've never heard that name.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting one. So I can follow that back and see who's his dad was.
Yeah, I'd be curious. If we find that out, then it's just this was just meant to be. But so anyway, you were born in Orange County, California. I don't know, like what's your story been like?
Yeah, I was born there. I lived there for about, I mean, 18 years, and then I moved out to Colorado. Kind of got my it's expensive in California. Like, there's no way for a young adult to really make it if they don't like have money. So I couldn't afford to live there. I left and went to Colorado, where I was able to kind of get my feet under me a little bit easier. I lived there for I don't know, 5 or 6 years or so, and kind of got my feet in the door in the brewing industry, and worked in some like restaurant gigs and saved up some money, and um, found my love for the outdoors out there as well.
Mm.
Loved living in the mountains, loved skiing, mountain biking, rock climbing. Um, then I ended up taking a job back in California and moved to San Diego, which was a great move for my career because there's so many breweries and a lot of like good beer in San Diego. So I moved out there and it ended up being really good, but I ended up like I kind of thought that I missed the ocean, but as soon as I moved back towards the ocean, I was like, I need to be in the mountains. I need to be farther from all these people. So I didn't stay there very long. And ended up started looking for kind of like a small college town, small to mid-sized college town in the mountains, somewhere in Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming. And then I found a job posting for a brewery out here in Bozeman,
Mm.
and that's how I ended up out here. And I can't see myself leaving. I love it here.
Yeah, that's good to hear. What were you just always? what drew you to the beer industry? I guess are you into the chemistry, or you just love beer? What was that? What was that temptation?
It really started as me being 19 years old and I couldn't buy any alcohol. It's pretty common. That's how a lot of brewers got into the industry. Is they kind of started making it and ended up falling in love with the craft and the science and all that. So I've been doing it for 9 years now or so, and I still feel like I have a lot to learn, and I like it's just so intensive, and there's a lot of science behind it, a lot of chemistry, and a lot of just kind of art and craft, and it's kind of really fun being able to combine those two things, and at the end of the day have a beautiful product that I really enjoy. So
Yeah, man, I dig that. Uh, man, I so much want to. I do get to travel around sometimes. I haven't made it to Colorado though. It's been on my list, but I feel this determination coming about to make sure I visit your brewery at some point and try to like say hello. Um,
yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah, my story has been more in one location. I'm from here. I live around Winston Salem, North Carolina, which is like cigarette city. It's like where Camel's cigarettes come from and stuff. And I've been a musician since I was like 19, and I just kind of whenever I can, I travel and do that. But for the last few years, I've been working in Winston a lot more, like in cinema or in AV and like media production and stuff like that. So, but I really am trying to start. I'm really trying to figure out how to get back on the road more and just like travel the U.S. and experience more places like Colorado and out west. I haven't really been further west than Texas, so I haven't been to California. I haven't been to Montana or any of these places that you're talking about being at. Which I just now realized I misspoke. You're in you're in Montana. That's what I mean to say. Is I want to come out to Montana at some point and see your brewery.
Yeah, I mean, I really can't say I've gone much farther east than Montana. Like, I've I went to North Carolina once when I was a kid, but other than that, I've really stuck kind of more western. Yeah,
So between the two of us, Tyler Nail is really bi-coastal.
yeah,
We're all over the country.
definitely.
There's I like I said, I kind of went on a spree of looking up different Tyler Nails, and I actually found a lot more of them like in the UK. Like
Interesting.
yeah, I found more of them over there, and none of them I don't think wanted anything to do with me. Like one of them messaged me, I think insulted that I had followed him without knowing him or whatever. I was like, we got the same name. Like, come on, we must know each other in some way.
I know my uncle has a lot of fake accounts created with his exact name, and people trying to friend his family members to them, then email them and spam them.
Really?
So yeah,
Uh,
so I could see that, like someone with the exact same name trying to come in and add you as a friend who could be someone just trying to sell you something.
yeah, that's probably true. I'm a little bit too optimistic, I guess, about social media friendships.
Oh, I've developed a kind of a hatred for social media. I try to not use it as much as I can. It's just
Yeah. At the same time, I do relate to that, especially. I mean, I feel like social media has like absolutely crippled the arts industry. It also makes it visible to people or whatever, and I've got plenty of conversations about that on the podcast. But yeah, it's crippled a lot of things. I mean, it's and streaming too. But what is it that you dislike about it? Why, like you
I
said,
mean,
it's like
it's addictive, and you sit down and you end up just wasting away your day just looking at what other people are doing instead of you going out and doing those things. And then the overload of like advertisements is killing me. It's like every third post you see, then see an advertisement, and it's just like bombarding you with stuff you don't want to see and care about. So I just kind of like every time I see an ad, I just put my phone down and forget about it, try to do something else, which ends up me not spending very much time on my phone.
And I guess for you, a lot of that recreation is like outdoors in the mountains and stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm 20 minutes away from a ski hill, and there's tons of backcountry skiing and tons of mountain biking and tons of rock climbing and anything I like to do. It's pretty close. So
Yeah, that's the pictures I've seen. I guess from your Instagram is rock climbing, which seems awesome, but also scares the hell out of me in a way.
well, I mean, I used to be terrified of heights. Um, so it seemed like a weird sport to get into, but I realized I'm not afraid of the heights as much as I'm afraid of like the falling part of it. So if I feel comfortable, I feel safe, and I feel like I'm tied in, and I know that that rope is going to catch me, I'm fine getting up high off the ground.
That is really interesting. What like if you had that fear of falling, what made you decide to do it?
I mean, I've always been somewhat of like an adrenaline junkie, and I the fear kind of drove me to want to do it more. Like
Huh.
kind of get that feeling of being a little out of my comfort zone and a little afraid.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm a different kind of Tyler Nail, I guess. I don't have that. I don't have that
my
as
my parents just do not get it. They do not understand it. They have no idea why. They're like they look at something that I'm climbing and they look around like, hey, you know, you can hike around this on the other side. Why are you going straight up it like that? And they don't understand why I would put myself in those situations.
yeah. Yeah, that's intense. I like gave up roller coasters and gave like I stopped chasing adrenaline a long time ago. Uh, I wonder if we're like polar opposites. That could be like I guess I'm enjoying the thought that like our opposite coastal existences is like is like an alternate universe. You're like we're just different. We're just opposites of each other in some weird way. But we both have bad vision, so I guess we're not totally up.
Beards and bad vision.
Beards and bad vision. That's what this episode would be called. Are you nearsighted or farsighted?
I can never remember. I can't see things that are far away.
I am farsighted. I can see things that are far away.
Okay.
Yeah. So we
I'm
are.
also I'm also awful at music, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
kind of tone deaf. So deaf. So
Interesting. Yeah, I I probably couldn't brew beer. You know. What kind of do you are you into music at all?
I mean, I like to listen to music, but I wouldn't say that I like follow music much or have like I don't know,
Mm.
kind of just whatever's playing. It's usually enjoyable.
Okay, so it's a bit more passive for you.
Yeah, I would say that it's not as much of a something I'm passionate about.
That's so funny.
Yeah, there's definitely some opposites between you and I.
And yet our grave will say the same name on it. I don't know why I have to take it to death, but whatever. Yeah, man. Well, I'm trying to think if I have any other curiosities to indulge in. I don't plan to keep you very long. It's not like I'm gonna whatever, but uh, yeah. I mean, I guess what do you see yourself doing after today? Like, are you you said you're sticking around in Montana? Are you staying in the beer industry? Or are you like, do you have plans for yourself otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, so my long time goal is to open up my own brewery out here. As soon as honestly, as soon as I can afford it. Uh, me and my wife live out here. We own our house out here. We're planning on sticking around. I don't see us leaving. We kind of it's kind of like our base camp for all of our adventures. If we want to go drive out to the desert and go climbing, or go do another ski resort somewhere else, like this is kind of just where we're gonna come back and call home.
Yeah, I love that. That sounds like I say that because that sounds so simple. It sounds so obvious. That's a lifestyle that like is a normal lifestyle to live, to have a home base and to have clarity about what you want to do. But in my experience and a lot of the conversations I have with folks, that type of simple clarity lacks sometimes for some people. And that sounds like so peaceful to me to be able to say, I have a plan. We know what we're doing. Like this is where we want to be.
Yeah, it's nice. I try not to overthink things, and I'm happy here. Why plan too big or anything? I don't know.
I hear that, man. Do you have any pets or anything?
Yeah, we have two pets. We've got a pit bull mix, and we have a tiny little cat. And the cat just keeps wanting to play with the dog, and the dog is terrified.
That's been one of the great surprises of adulthood is like via cartoons we always thought that dogs just roamed around like beating cats up. And then you turn into adult and you realize like cats just scare the hell out of dogs. Yeah, I mean, I like ordinary. Like, I mean, like on the podcast, I usually talk to people for like 2 hours, but I don't really, I don't know, like, I don't want to just bombard you with questions all day long. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. I hope you figure out about your great grandfather's name, and I hope we
Yeah,
figure.
I'm gonna have to look that up and see if there's any relation. That'd be kind of funny.
Well, man, you're doing the Tyler Nail name proud. I look forward to when you get your brewery going, and I'm gonna make it a point to come out there and check it out in Montana and see what it's
Yeah,
all
that'd be
about.
awesome.
And if you're ever in North Carolina again for any reason, give me a shout, and
You
we'll.
know what? There's a good chance I'd be there eventually. So
Yeah,
I'll definitely give you a shout out if I'm around that area.
yeah, man. There's a bunch of breweries here. We could go check one out. We could have fun showing people both our IDs. You know, something. Well, good deal, Tyler. Well, dude, like, thank you. Yeah, thank you for like doing this. This was like a weird, wacky idea, but I really appreciate you sparing the time.
Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it.
All right, man. Well, have a good rest of the day, and hopefully we'll talk again sometime.
Will do. Have a good one.
See ya.